Right, now we can move on with a look at what's grabbing the newspaper headlines here in France today. I'm joined for that by Florence Villeneuve, our press reviewer. Hello there. Nice to see you. Now, the presidential election, just about 2 months away now, isn't it? Candidates in full campaign mode. The centre-right, the Conservative, François Fillon, we've talked so much about him, haven't we? He's been giving an exclusive interview to Le Parisien. He's not talking about this whole scandal around supposedly fictitious jobs, though. It's about his health programme.
That's right, the doctor's new prescription. You can see François Fillon on the front page of Le Parisien, Aujourd'hui en France today. These new doctor's orders, new being the key word, because before the Conservative primary last year, François Fillon laid out a first version of his health program that drew a lot of criticism because he called for massive spending cuts. He wants to cut 20 billion euros over his, perhaps 5-year terms as president. Now, this new improved version is a lot softer. You can get all the details here in Le Parisien. Essentially, he's trying to be reassuring because French people are very attached to the very generous healthcare system that, it must be said, costs the state a lot of money. So in this interview that he gives with Le Parisien, he says, no, don't worry, I'm still very much attached to this very generous healthcare system. So according to Le Parisien, this isn't as bitter a pill to swallow as his first version, but it's unclear what the side effects are going to be, and it's unclear how he's going to pay for it as well. He says he's going to give that detail in the coming time. We'll see how he's going to pay for that later.
A spoonful of sugar helping the medicine go down, just to add to those medical puns. Le Parisien, not just having fun with puns, it's also poking a bit of fun at François Fillon for this slight change in tone.
That's right. Let's take a look at this cartoon here in Le Parisien. You can see he's saying, look, everyone is going to get paid back. Everyone is going to be taken care of. So this other guy is saying, wow, it looks like he's completely turned around. He had a plan B when it came to his health program. Of course, we've been talking a lot about plan Bs with François Fillon. A lot of people saying that the only reason he's still in the race following the so-called Penelopegate scandal is because the Conservative right party doesn't have a plan B other than François Fillon.
All right, well, Le Parisien talking about this as an exclusive with all these details about the health programme. But there's another newspaper that's also talking about it, and they say it's not so exclusive, it's not such new news after all.
That's right, that's Le Figaro, the main right-wing paper. A big cheerleader, it must be said, for François Fillon. So this new programme isn't so new, according to Le Figaro. They say what it really is a clarification. It's not a massive change of heart. He's remaining firm on his principle. For instance, Le Figaro in its editorial focuses on this pledge to cut spending in the health program. According to Le Figaro, he's very much going to continue with that plan, and Le Figaro applauds Fillon for this. This is the realistic things to do. It's to cut spending without lowering the quality of French healthcare. And you can see here, they're comparing Fillon to other presidential candidates from the far left. So you have Jean-Luc Mélenchon, Benoit Hamon, more in the center there you have Emmanuel Macron, and even Marine Le Pen on the far right. Le Figaro says they all want to increase spending when it comes to healthcare. So according to Le Figaro, Fillon is really the only realistic one when it comes to healthcare.
All right, François Fillon might be talking about doctors and making us all better and perhaps giving us free glasses and that kind of thing. But he's still dogged by this so-called Penelopegate scandal, isn't he?
That's right, but he really doesn't want to talk about it anymore. If we go back to Le Parisien, they have a really interesting editorial today talking about this, because Le Parisien did ask François Fillon questions about this, and he doesn't want to answer them anymore. He says it's behind him. And Le Parisien points out that, Fillon really has taken a tumble in opinion polls because of the scandal, but don't pay attention to opinion polls, especially when it comes to François Fillon. And I keep calling it Le Figaro, it's Le Parisien, reminds readers that, opinion polls got so many things wrong with respect to François Fillon. They didn't expect him to win the Conservative primary, and yet he did. So Le Parisien says nothing has been decided yet. Don't underestimate François Fillon and his capacity to rally the right behind him.
It is interesting, isn't it, how much we're taking a massive pinch of salt now when we do talk about opinion polls, and I think people elsewhere reading the newspapers as well. If we move on to Libération, Libération, the left-leaning newspaper. It's having a look at the Socialist Party candidate, Benoit Hamon, and talking about how he's sort of been shopping around a little bit, looking for some more allies to boost his position.
That's right. Let's take a look at Libération. They're focusing on how he's trying to join forces with the Green Party, Yannick Jadot. Now, they had a working lunch yesterday. The first steps in a potential presidential deal, according to Libération. They've become this electoral tambouille. Now, tambouille is a word that's kind of, it's like a mishmash pot where you throw a bunch of ingredients in. So it's definitely not haute cuisine. And so you can read all the details there. It seems like Libération isn't really buying this potential alliance between them.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what those ingredients are. Might be very nourishing. You never know. A lot of people on the left of the French political spectrum have been hoping that the Socialist Party, the sort of solid traditional left, is going to join forces with the hard left. But that just doesn't seem very likely.
It's true that a lot of people are hoping that grand rassemblement, that big rallying between the lefts will happen because Jean-Luc Mélenchon on the far left has a lot of support right now. And so the thinking is if Benoit Hamon and Jean-Luc Mélenchon join forces, well, then perhaps the left would have a chance in the presidential election, because if they go solo, it seems like neither of them are going to have a chance.
They're on round about sort of 10, 12% for
right.
Mélenchon, maybe 18, 20 for Hamon.
And so can you imagine what that would be like if they joined forces? Now, the problem is both candidates have been trading jibes, particularly over the weekend, but some people are still holding out hope for this big assembly, this big rally between the two, particularly L'Humanité, the communist paper. It's really holding out hopes for that. But if we take a look at a cartoon in Le Monde by Tues, it's showing that it doesn't seem likely. You can see it's talking about la machine à perdre. This combination would be a losing machine. And you can see Benoit Hamon and Jean-Luc Mélenchon on this tandem bicycle here. But the problem is they're both going in opposite directions. So according to Le Monde, it doesn't seem like they're actually going to be able to head down the same road together.
Oh dear. Well, from not very effective cycling to real actual football, let's talk about that big Champions League match between Monaco, which we class as a French club, and Manchester City.
That's right. Monaco is not a part of France. It's a principality. But their team does play in the French league. And not only that, they're the number one team in the French league right now. So L'Équipe, the French sports daily, is really hoping that Monaco is going to beat Manchester City. They're on a roll, according to L'Équipe, and they have all these British clubs that they've beaten over the years. So you have Manchester United in 1998. That's quite a long time ago. Anyway, you have Chelsea 2004, Arsenal 2015, Tottenham 2016. So could Manchester City be next? Well, they're hoping for a spectacular night tonight, especially because this game comes 1 week after Paris Saint-Germain creamed Barcelona 4-0. So L'Équipe is hoping that some of the magic from that match is going to wear off on tonight's match. It seems like the map of European football is being redrawn, according to L'Équipe. They're really getting their hopes up. Everything is possible, according to L'Équipe.
We love an underdog story, don't we? Even if they're from a very rich principality. Still underdogs to us. Thanks very much.
Good luck to them.
Florence Villeneuve with our look through the French papers.